Hello.
Hello, my Tim.
Hello, my Brandy.
My brother from another mother.
That's me.
I have missed you.
It's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're back.
Yes.
And this is The Scoop, Weddings Unveiled, Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier DJ. And, of course, on the other end of this is Brandy Harlan,
Hello.
your non-retired wedding planner, which I have in text here. So anybody who's watching this on YouTube, they can see it says wedding planner, in parentheses, non-retired. So
it's because he's bringing me out of retirement.
Trying.
We're gonna come together on it. I feel like maybe before season starts, we'll have. I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. I do miss decorating
and planning and doing all the things.
All the things except staying all night. I'm tired. I'm old. Like I can't be staying till midnight.
Like, if you're like a day of coordinator, does that mean how long do you stay?
The definition of day of coordinator varies depending on the coordinator. However,
so it's just whatever
in my mind, I would not want to leave before the night is over. So I say that I don't want to stay until the end of the night. However, I would not feel that I am being 100% completing my job or my duties unless I was there till the end of the night, making sure that everyone got out okay, everything's packed up, everything's
Well, I guess if you had a team.
Maybe, yeah, I could probably, high five it off to
Jen.
somebody. And no, Jen don't want to stay the whole night either. We're in the same boat. we would have junior assistants probably that would stay until the end. That would just ensure
little peons.
Yeah. So as soon as no,
kidding.
not peons. No. Like as soon as dinner was served, that's a good time to be like, okay, so here's your closing instructions. They're usually there during setup, so they know like what boxes get what decor and. They're familiar with everything, so then we could leave it in good hands and go home and actually get some sleep and not work a 17, 16-hour day.
Like the rest of us.
I mean,
actually, you're there before us, but
yeah,
before entertainment and pretty much everybody. But you'd mentioned as we get into, as you get back into season, well, we are coming out of season.
Yeah.
It is... We are in June.
Yeah, in Florida, that's what that means.
Right, yeah. So in Florida, Florida weddings.
June month starts.
Yeah, Florida weddings. June is really is like the end of wedding season. So we are coming to the end. Like last week or this past weekend, we had 4 weddings. 3 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. We were out at Longboat Key Club. Joey was at Baker's Ranch. DJ Mike was at Longboat Key Club, I believe, and then I was in Clearwater at Opal Sands Resort.
I saw that. That
was
looked
beautiful,
gorgeous.
like beautiful views.
Right?
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Actually, it was just a really cool venue. The only issue is, as a vendor, as a wedding professional, is the load in and out.
Yeah.
I had to have a condensed setup because I couldn't bring my trailer. Yeah, you have to valet your car. And I was like, well, I have a trailer. And they said, well, then you can go down about a half a mile down. There's parking. And I'm like, excuse me, a half a mile down? Away from where we are right now? So I have to set up, drive my trailer a half a mile down, and then walk back.
In 97-degree weather.
And then at midnight,
do the same.
Walk a half a mile to go get my vehicle and then come back?
And is it even safe to have it?
I mean, it was on Clearwater Beach.
Yeah.
But what?
Like,
so if I
get deliveries and have big vehicles on property ever to parking spots for them, motorcycle parking, something?
I don't know, but that was not so I ended up not using my trailer. I ended up having to condense everything and put everything in the back of my Jeep, which my Tetris skills are very good.
They are.
So it worked out well.
You are very good about how you pack all your stuff in your trailer. It's very good.
Yeah. So I brought out. I didn't have my custom table, my DJ table. I ended up bringing out my regular DJ table that I have, and it was a great wedding.
Yeah.
It was an interesting wedding, to say the least. Excuse my language, but this is how the vows started. From the groom. You ready?
Oh God.
This is how the vows started.
This is starting to be a trend.
This is how the vows started.
Okay.
Sup, fuckers. That's how the groom started his vows.
How old was the groom?
I want to say early 40s, early to mid 40s.
You know what that's from?
No.
American Pie.
Oh, I'm
The
sure.
movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's
But
up,
he said,
fuckers?
"What's up, fuckers?" Which makes sense because American Pie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would
that's
say it
how
all the time.
Stifler always walked into the room.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And he was very much a Stifler. Yeah,
Yes.
I could. His personality was very much that.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
like, that's me on a TV screen.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why.
and then so the ceremony was outside. At Opal Sands, they have like their pool area. Beautiful resort.
Yeah.
They have their pool area, and then to the left of the pool area, there's a turf, like a green turf, where I'm assuming they have these ceremonies, and they do have like this wall that they put up
Oh, okay.
to kind of like
Conceal a little
conceal a little, and then also divide the ceremony from everybody at the
at the pool.
pool, because before they didn't have that wall, people would just like gawk
Oh,
in their bathing suits.
Speedos.
Yep.
And cannonballs going off in the middle of your
So
ceremony.
he starts, and obviously he's mic'd up, and I have the speaker going, and you hear, "What's up, fuckers?" And I'm like, "There's children over there." But you know what? I was like, this is going to be an interesting night. What else? Oh, towards the end of the ceremony.
She didn't start with it either. She didn't start.
No,
With it. Okay, good.
no. But towards the end of the ceremony, the officiant was said, "Do you, bride, take husband to be to take your to be your lawfully
Yeah.
wedded husband?"
Yeah.
And she said, "I fucking do." I was like, "Oh God." And then she asks the husband, "Do you take bride?" And he says, "I fucking do too." I was like, "Oh my God." Good Lord.
So what was the love meter on this one?
The love meter.
Strong.
What I mean,
I
it
mean,
was with them too. Yeah, they've been together for a while, I'm assuming.
yeah, they seem very comfortable.
Yeah, and also she's from Chicago.
Okay.
I think a lot of their guests were from Chicago. She's from Chicago. She was a huge Chicago Bears fan, football wise. He's a huge Green Bay Packers fan.
Oh.
Big rivalry there in football.
that's
If you don't
not-
know, Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, huge
Very
NFL football
much.
rivalry.
Yes.
Well, she is now a Green Bay Packers fan. How? I don't know, but that was in her vows.
He converted her.
He did.
Oh
That's,
my God.
That's like me. I'm a huge Eagles fan.
That'd be like me converting you to a Browns fan.
No.
Oh no.
No. This is like I'm an Eagles fan. Our biggest rival is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
So that's like
yeah.
me saying, you know what? Screw the Eagles. I'm going to be a Dallas Cowboys fan now. Hell no. I ain't going to be. There's no way I'm going to be a Cowgirls fan. Nope.
You said cowgirl.
That's right.
Wow.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I'm just gonna say that D must be strong to change her
Ah.
from Chicago.
Chill, dog. But yeah, so that was the ceremony.
Okay.
And then and
Uh-oh.
what did he say? So I think I want to say she was of Asian descent.
Mm-hmm.
He's very white.
Mhm.
And I think as he walked down the aisle, he made he made a comment to somebody. I don't know who he said, but as he was walking down, he was like, "Oh, it's very white on this side. Not so much on the other." Like, I don't know. It was just,
Oh my
the dude
gosh.
was,
Oh wow.
I mean, he didn't say that out loud, but he said that to I don't know if he said that to the coordinator or if he said
Oh,
it to a
because you
friend.
could hear him because he was mic'd.
Well, that's what it was. The videographer heard it
oh.
in his earphones. Yeah, that's what it was.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
that doesn't make it into the video.
I hope it does.
I mean, where was Jonathan Patrick
I
when
know,
you need
right?
him? I feel like when people have weddings that there shouldn't be sides. Like, just mix it
No,
all up.
agreed.
Like, come on. Just,
Agreed. But
you're
it always
all there
happens,
for one
though.
common goal. I think it just naturally happens.
It just
yeah.
happens. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
these days, there's a few signs that say, pick
Pick a seat, not a side.
Yeah, pick a
We're
seat, not a
both-
We're all
one's the
family,
knot-
once the knot is tied. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, people
But-
don't really. They sit next to people they know. So then, if all your people don't know all your people, then they're gonna divide
Yeah.
naturally.
But the music selections were pretty cool. The for during cocktail hour, they wanted a lot of like R&B, like 2000s R&B, like
yes,
Brian McKnight.
yes.
I threw in some
I am there
Boys
for
to
that.
Men, Babyface.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was like, okay, some baby making
All right,
music
right?
during cocktail hour,
Yes.
and
Get everybody in a love mood.
Yeah. And so once cocktail hour was over, we came upstairs. I tried to get them all lined up for introductions, and that was a shit show. Let me tell you. We're
gonna get so many censors on this episode.
This one is gonna be uncensored. I should have said that before. Uncensored. I will write that on the. Yeah.
A little uncensored.
Yeah. It was definitely a shit show. Lining them up, I couldn't get their attention. They were.
So.
And
the
bride.
Of alcohol that
yes. Oh yeah. The bride
okay,
said she's like, I'm buzzing right now.
I guessed that this was a party crowd and that they were gonna not listen. So.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to get everybody lined up. There was four couples for the for the 4 or 5 for the bridal party.
Okay.
Each of them had their own song for me to introduce them into.
I know you love that.
But with 4 or 5 people, it's not too
Not
bad.
too bad.
So I introduced them. We go into the first dance. Then they did a combined family dance.
Oh. Okay.
The mother and the bride and the mother and the groom, because the both fathers on either side had passed away. So I had said in dedication to the fathers of the bride and the groom, we're gonna do a dedicated family dance, and it was actually really touching. After that was over, the groom wanted to say a thank you, so I handed over. I gave him the mic, and he said, "All that sappy shit, word for word." This is what he's not word for word, but pretty much this is what he said. All that sappy shit, that's all done. We're gonna party now. And then the bride steals the mic. She's like, "Let's fucking party!" And I was like, "Jesus! Like there are kids in here, not a lot, but there are kids in this ballroom."
Children.
And so in fashion, I was like, I grabbed the mic. Actually, I had a separate mic, and I said, "Well," and no joke, I said, "Before we fucking party, we're gonna have dinner first." So
I understand.
I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah.
Go with it. Yep.
So I said that, and I was like, "We're gonna have dinner first. Dinners are being served in just a moment. The photo booth is open. The bar, God forbid, is open. Unfortunately. So enjoy your evening." And that was that.
That is great. What a fun atmosphere, though.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't too bad. There's about 65 to 70 guests.
I like it.
The views during sunset were absolutely amazing. Just overlooking the beach and the water. I mean, I think you saw the video that I posted on social media. It was insane. Yeah, and then my uplights. I did uplighting.
Oh.
They became soccer balls. Yeah, because there was drapery on the back side of the wall, and the head table with the bridal party. It was just one big head table, and then so the drapery was right behind the head table, and so I lit up the entire wall of drapery. But it was so close from the head table to the drapery.
Oh.
So I knew it was going to happen, but the groom just.
Who does that though? Was there ability to move it further forward?
It was it was a very narrow ballroom.
Oh.
It was very narrow. And I was just happy that I was front and center to the dance floor.
Like,
I was very happy. Nope. And I even said to the planner, I said, "Thank you so much for centering me with the dance floor." She's like, "Oh my God, of course."
Go team.
Yeah. So it was a successful wedding. Their music selections included, they very much, they went to a lot of like dance festivals.
Oh.
Music festivals.
Okay.
So EDM was high on their priority.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yep.
Especially with some fist pumps and.
They were jumping. They were having a good time. Some twerking music. I have like a remix version of Pony. I played that towards the end of the night, and so then the bride started grinding on the groom. I got a very ending video of that.
Okay. All right. Just for perpetuity.
Just because it's...
Throw it in a fun video later on.
Yeah, why not?
Right?
You know?
Be like, this is what our music does.
Exactly. This is what our parties do to people.
And this is how we end the night.
Yes. Pretty much. But yeah, overall, it was good. The wedding went from... The ceremony started at 7 p.m. Yeah. Started at 7.
Well, I mean, yeah, sunset's not till 8:30.
Yeah, so it actually was nice, and it didn't end until midnight.
Okay.
But before anything started, the venue coordinators, not the actual wedding planner, but like the venue coordinators. They came up to me and they're like, well, because this is a later wedding, there are guests that are above you. And she's like, you don't happen to have like really loud speakers or subwoofers, do you? I'm like, well, I have a condensed setup. These do have smaller subs. Based on what I've gathered so far, they're going to want to party. And they're like, well, as long as you keep it lower around 10 p.m. And I'm thinking, that's when the party starts.
Yeah. Could they have not shared this with you beforehand?
Could they have shared this? I mean, my big question is, like, for venues, if you don't want loud music to be played, why do you even have like a wedding venue? Or why do you even allow events or weddings to happen past a certain time?
Yeah. Yeah. If quiet hours start at 10, then okay.
And it wasn't necessarily like a quiet hour. They just didn't want the bass thumping into the other rooms because they've had people.
Also, they should tell the guests, your room is above a wedding tonight.
I don't think you need to do that. I just think that if you don't want that to happen, then don't book the wedding until like past a certain time. If the couple asks, hey, can we go until midnight? Say, no, you are here till 10. And that's
11,
10 or 11. Because, I mean, honestly, when you're outside, those venues, there's a hard stop at 10 because of noise ordinance.
Yeah.
So that's fair. But anyway,
so
didn't have any issues, thankfully.
So indoor venues don't have to adhere to the noise ordinance?
No.
Really?
Bishop isn't really an indoor venue, though.
I'm not at Bishop anymore.
I know, but I know you're at the retreat. Why? Did you think that there was a noise ordinance out there?
Yeah, we have it as 10 p.m. stop.
You technically, I mean, for my knowledge, if it's enclosed, it's indoor, there's really no.
But I think they're just doing a 10 p.m. stop.
That's
not
probably
necessarily noise ordinance
right.
related.
I would say that's probably why. But
so
anything
if somebody wants to pay to go to 11, then I guess we can evaluate that, or midnight.
Yeah, pay for it.
Especially if it's a New Year's Eve wedding. That makes good sense that we're not stopping at midnight.
Yes.
Okay, good to know. Indoor venue. Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, this is all new. I haven't had an indoor venue.
Oh, that's
that
true.
But
even at Mixon's,
we had 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we could go to midnight if we wanted to.
True.
Especially New Year's Eve.
Good point.
So all these new things that I'm learning. Okay, good to know. And then I saw that you didn't just work this weekend. You played.
I played a little bit. I went golfing.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So how'd you do?
I actually didn't do bad. This is my first time ever like playing a full course,
18? Yeah.
a full 18, not playing in a scramble format or playing best ball.
Okay, yeah.
So I play with one of my good buddies. He actually helps me sometimes on occasion for setups when I have bigger weddings and bigger setups, and then he'll also act as my security.
I like it.
Shout out Blake. So he and I went out golfing, and there was only 4 holes that I played best ball on his.
Oh, okay.
Out of the 18, which was pretty good.
Yeah. So what was par?
But we don't
need.
I have no idea. I don't know. I personally wasn't. He shot an 80, which is really good.
Yeah, so I wonder what par was, though.
I'm not sure, but he probably shot close to par.
Okay.
He's really good.
And what was yours? You didn't.
I mean, we count like the fact that
is this like putt-putt style golf?
No, this was
but no. As far as like how you keep track of your score, did you?
No, he kept track of his scores. He
kept
track of he actually kept track of mine as well. But again, there were about 4 holes that I was just like, all right, I've hit it in the water. I've lost it over here. I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna play off of your, like I'm gonna play where yours landed. And so I just said, circle this one or scratch it off. So he just gave me like double bogeys on those. But for the most part, like I was bogeying and like I hit 1 par.
Okay.
And then for the most, I was getting like a bogey or double bogey.
Yeah, that's nice.
Which, I mean, for an amateur and somebody this is the first time.
Play. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
So
Do you own your own clubs?
No, he has. I had balls, which
How did you?
I have balls and I have a glove, but I don't have any clubs. So, but he had an extra
He said
set.
I have balls.
Yeah. So he had an extra set, and I actually have golf attire.
Of course you do.
So I have golf
Well,
shorts.
yeah, I'm sure you do.
But he let me borrow his golf shoes because he's got like a gazillion. He's a
I
shoe
forgot
dude.
shoes, yeah.
But now I've got the fever.
I was gonna say you're going shopping.
So I'm gonna have to
PGA Golf Superstore.
or I'm really all I need to do is get an extra putter because he's got a full
Oh, a full set.
a full set minus a putter for the second full
Okay,
set.
I think the
So I was
PGA
using his putter.
Superstore has them.
So I mean, shoot, I can go to like
Dick's.
or I can go to like Goodwill. I don't need anything
True.
crazy
Yeah, true.
to start.
It's
you
just
know,
a putter.
just to start. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I'm excited.
yeah, so-
I'm gonna come out and just drive the cart and drink.
Well, we actually. So I was talking to Blake about that. We were talking about Kelsey doing that. So we'll have
Yeah.
you both come out,
Yes. We'll
Just
come hang out.
shoot the shit,
Yeah.
get your
I
tan
can
on.
hit a few balls.
Yeah, and take a few swings, see
I've
how you do.
golfed before.
Yeah, get your own balls though.
I play softball.
Get
It's a little
a
different.
lot different.
I mean, swinging.
It's swinging.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm actually pretty. Yeah, we had a really good softball game actually yesterday. We are in the championships next weekend.
ooh,
Yeah, yeah, doing
okay,
really good.
nice.
I steal a lot of bases. I do. I rely on my legs.
Okay,
on
that's
my
fair.
running.
As you should.
I mean, I can hit, but I'm also the relief runner.
I don't know anything
So-
about softball.
No, so if so we have a few players that hit really good, female players that hit really well, but they don't run bases. It's not what they do.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
So, well, in our league. And so I get substituted in to run the bases for them. So there's times where I will run all 4 bases, get up, bat, run all 4 bases, cover again, run all 4. Like, I don't sit.
That's great cardio.
It is really great cardio. I'm a little sore today. But so, yeah, so you went golfing and then you went back to your alma mater a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And,
So speaking of baseball, yeah, FAMU. Again, I went to school at Florida A&M University, Tallahassee. They made it to the regionals.
nice.
They won their conference. They won the SWAC conference for baseball. So they made it to the Gainesville regional. Played in that regional was University of Florida, UConn, and Texas Tech.
Okay.
And honestly, I was expecting it to be a 10-run rule after 7. And, I was like, great job. You guys got here.
I came.
Success.
I came. I supported.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was cool to see. And I saw one of my old coaches, got to see
Oh,
him.
fun.
One of my old teammates made it out. He's, from Orlando. But FAMU played extremely well against Florida.
Okay.
They lost, but they only lost 3-0 against
Oh.
the number 2 team in the nation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Did extremely
big
well.
things for next season.
And well, they played really well this past weekend, and they actually had a chance to tie it up even in the 9th inning. They didn't score, but they got called out. They got thrown out twice at home plate,
Oh.
and it was just kind of like bad coaching. But anyway, they only lost 3-0, and they were really challenging Florida throughout the entire game,
Yeah.
and especially in that 9th inning.
That
but
defense sounded like it was on point.
it
but they only
was. They
scored
actually
3.
played a clean, airless game. It was. I was blown away, to be honest with
Nice.
you. And then they played a top 20 or top 10 ranked team of UConn the next game,
Mhm.
and they hit 4 home runs. Florida A&M did. They hit 4 home runs. They were up for the majority. Actually, they were up or tied for the majority of the game, 5-5, and then they went up 6-5. It was 5-5, and then UConn ended up in like the 7th or 8th inning, scoring 3 or 4 runs.
Mm.
They ended up winning 9-6.
Not
UConn
bad.
did, but again, facing against 2 top 10 teams
Yeah.
and giving both of them a run for their money, when really they should have been blown out both games.
Yeah.
I was super proud. So
That's awesome.
shout out FAMU, great
Yay.
job, baseball.
One of my interns for work is starting this week, and she's going to FAMU.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
She's a high school graduate, and so we have interns.
Where'd
for
she
the summer.
graduate from?
I don't know the high school. I think maybe Booker, but she's going to FAMU.
All right.
So I was like, "Yay! I know that school.
Shout out to the Rattlers of Florida A&M University,
That's exciting."
HBCU. But
Fun
yeah,
times.
so wedding season is coming to an end, and now we get to play a little bit, which is
Yeah.
nice, and prep for the next season.
I was actually, I'm on all the socials with all the planners and whatnot. I saw Kelly Kennedy did two weddings this weekend, back to back. Saturday and Sunday
Mhm.
in June. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And the weather, I mean, although it's cool, and they were outside.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's the
Yeah,
part.
it was hot.
Yeah. But I mean, the evenings have been quite nice and the breeze has been nice. But I
Mhm.
was just surprised that she had 2 back-to-backs in June.
Yeah. Well, again, the fact that we had 4 this past weekend,
Yeah.
and then this upcoming weekend we have 2 more, and then, well, the rest of the month we have three more weddings for the rest of the month, and then
Okay.
that's June,
And then it's
July.
party.
July we have 2 events, just 2 events in July,
The whole month.
the whole month, and
That's
they're
when
not
you know it's
weddings.
time to hang out and party and
Yep.
do your thing. Yeah.
And then in August we have 3.
And then hello September.
September, and then September we start
Forget it. Yeah.
ramping up again. So July and August are by far the slowest months for weddings and events in Florida.
Yes.
Anywhere else in the States, this is when
That's-
wedding season begins.
Yep.
May, June is when wedding season begins, and then it goes through maybe October, November.
I'd say depending on, well, it isn't getting as much snow as early as it used to up north.
Okay.
So I would say that's fair, like
Yeah.
October, November for sure.
Yeah. So ours
Yeah,
is
that's like their 6
nearly
months.
year-round down here.
Yeah.
And then anywhere else in the States, mostly it's June, July through October, November.
And we're
So
talking like northeast.
Northeast.
Yes, we're not talking like West Coast.
We have no idea what goes on over
We
there.
have no clue. Don't ask.
Don't ask us. If you're listening
we're
to us
doing
from the
our own thing.
Northwest, tell us how things go on
Yeah,
over
Let
there.
us know what's trending.
Exactly.
What's trending on the West Coast so we can start it over here.
Yeah.
That's
so,
great.
So wedding season's coming to an end. So while you're planning, topic of discussion today
Yeah.
is we're going to talk about if you should hire a DJ or if you should hire a band.
Or
and,
both.
Or both, and how do you choose?
Yes.
What are the pros? What are the cons? So, it really just depends on if, how to pick a wedding DJ or a band. It's just dependent on, kind of like your thoughts. If you want like a club or festival vibe, that's, more or less maybe a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
But if you love live music, obviously you want to look into getting a band. But there are obviously some pros and cons to both sides. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah. I actually, I love, obviously, you know this, I love my DJ people, my DJ guys. I love having a DJ. And however, I have been venturing into more live music
Mm-hmm.
in the last few years, I'd say. And so for me, I say a mix is great. And I actually have a wedding in March that's doing a mix at the Retreat Sarasota.
Well, you have a wedding, you said?
Yeah, in March of next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. You got
And
one
she's
booked.
kind of, well, I mean, yeah, it was
Already
pre-made,
booked?
but
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
But I just talked to her this week because we're starting the planning process, and I'm actually going to be doing all of our decorating because
Oh, nice.
I got the bug, and so that never goes away. And so we talked about how to incorporate live music with DJ, and I think it also helps lay out the foundation for progression in an event or any kind of wedding or event. And what I mean by that is, if you want to, say, keep it classy for ceremony and just kind of set this nice, like, Zen kind of vibe, then I feel that's some live music, that's some singers, that's maybe a violin, maybe a guitar, something of that nature. And then you progress into that party field.
Sure.
That's kind of how you can set that tone by having live music. You can set it by having guitar, like I said, that kind of live band.
Yeah, I guess it just depends. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's one way of, like, if people are struggling to figure out how to transition feelings and vibes and like
mhm.
the whole like into party without it being like with just having significant changes, doing that is
Yeah.
one of those differentials.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the idea of having a violin, which isn't, again, not a band for
Yeah.
ceremony, because I think that's a little
That's
excessive.
too
But
much, yeah.
having a violinist
A
or a
harpist.
harpist,
Yeah.
or depending on the venue, steel drums. Like if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
if you're like kind of like a beachy
Yeah.
vibe,
Or if that's your culture too.
or
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
true,
exactly. Yeah.
So and then even they can even do cocktail hour, and then as you get into the reception side, then you have the DJ.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go into some pros first of hiring a wedding DJ
Okay.
here in 2023. So I think the first one that really sticks out is that DJs are generally more affordable than live
Yes.
bands. And only reason, not saying that, I mean, there are some DJs that are very expensive.
And there are some bands that are very inexpensive.
That's true. But it's also,
However.
I think, generally, I feel like bands are more expensive just because it depends on like how, if you go with like a 5-piece band
Yeah.
or like a 10-piece, like it just
Yeah,
depends
like-
on how big the band is.
Exactly. Like Bay King's band, I've hired them a few times for corporate events, but like fundraisers. But they were at a wedding that I watched over for Adam at the Bishop not too long ago. And there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
7-piece band.
7-piece. And yeah, they're not
And
cheap.
usually, yeah,
Probably
and
like 7 to 10,000.
sure, yeah, and that
Easy.
also probably sometimes they have a lighting guy. It just depends on how
They
intricate.
have a sound guy too that comes.
Yeah, they have a sound
They
guy.
always do.
Yep.
Yep. And that's
Because
how you also can tell how legit, I guess, or how involved and how like what you're going to get for your money when they have those
If they
extra
have
people.
they have a sound guy, that means like there's somebody that's handling the volumes for each individual instrument.
Microphones and everything,
Yeah.
yes. And they're making sure that it's always blending
Yes.
and always working. So think of that when you're
Yes.
pricing that out.
Yes. DJs can usually play any music.
Yeah.
And that would be, I guess, like not a con necessarily for live bands, but I guess when you choose a live band, you got to
Yeah.
figure out like what type of music do they play,
Yeah.
and that sort of thing.
And what that variety looks like, because
Yeah.
they might be Motorworks has a great band, N20 or North 20 or something of that nature, and they do all different kinds, but it's always a female lead singer. And so if you're going for something that's maybe you need more of a male for lead singing, then that would be something that you have to like figure out the logistics for
Yeah.
and question, like, okay, the type of music, is it a lot of male singers that you really prefer? Not that a female can't sing it, but it might not be the same feeling or the same might not feel the same
Yeah.
to you when,
And if
because if
there's,
you're
like-
looking to have it sound exactly the same, it's not
Sure.
ever also, because they also do change things up a little bit. They make
Yeah.
it their own.
I mean, yeah, and then like throughout the night, we get requests as a DJ all the time, and not
Mhm.
saying that bands can't or play requests, but
It might not be something that they
right,
know.
yeah, like if there's something like off the wall, it's like, oh, can you play Barbie Girl?
Yeah. That's
But that I don't know why that came to my mind,
I
but
don't know. Or something just super obscure, or
that is very obscure.
or EDM. That
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
I feel like if you're an
really-
EDM crowd, you probably wouldn't be
you
hiring a
cannot
band to
have
begin
a
with.
band. No, like
But
that doesn't work.
but yeah, so that's another pro for a DJ. DJs can perform in most wedding venues, whereas bands may not, depending on again the size of the band,
And space,
the space
decimals.
allotted, and so forth. And
Also electrical. Like they need a lot more electrical
power.
options and power, because so for instance, one person playing saxophone may also play a few other instruments. They may play saxophone, they may play trumpet, they may play a clarinet, and so if they're all electric, they need to be able to plug and play all that in. And that's just one person having basically their own dedicated outlet.
well, for
sometimes.
for the instrumentals like that, they usually just have like a mic on the instrument itself.
But then you've got like all of the pads.
Oh
with
well,
the-
yeah, that's
There's a lot of electrical, I think, that goes more into a band.
there is, yeah, especially when you have like, yeah, it's true. And speaking of that, DJs can perform within even the strictest of sound limitations. For instance, at the Bishop.
Yes.
Um,
It's very hard to constrain a band. During warm up alone, they were crossing over that decibel meter, and that wasn't them at their 100%. Like that was just warm ups, and it wasn't everybody playing together. It was they were testing each individual, and so having that conversation is not always easy. But I did let the sound guy, which is great to have a sound person, because I said, well, you're not at 100%, and you're already hitting 90.
Yeah.
So
90 decibels.
just so you know, that's where you're at just during warm up. And so, you know,
And the reason why you guys had that sound limitation
the
is because of the
manatees,
manatees who
yeah.
are in rehab.
yeah.
And
they're
that
like right
that
there.
decibel meter is coming from where you are at where the manatees are.
tank.
It's not right at the sound, because that's not where you
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, it's at the habitat.
Yep.
So
And then DJs, again, you probably wouldn't want to go with a band for this, but if you're wanting that club style, that vibe,
that weekend vibe that you just talked about.
you're not gonna get. I mean, you may get that with a band. I don't know. Probably not though.
I mean, I feel like they can get pretty hype, but not club hype.
Yeah.
It's different. And then they take breaks too. So you've got to have something that happens in between when a band takes a break.
When bands take a break, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like a pro to a DJ is that
because when it comes to party time, I mean, usually I think bands would probably take a break during dinner.
And they sometimes take a break between like
sets during dancing, like during party.
Well, because it could be like a 2.5, 3 hour set.
What happens during that time?
They
just put on like a
track music.
Yeah, see, no. And that's another pro. Like DJs, even if we do have to take like a quick break, or if we have to go use the restroom or grab some water or something, we can set up, like we can keep that energy up and just set up music
that still plays.
Yeah. And then we can run and come back. Not a big deal. Let's see here. Again, we can usually accommodate requests and playlists from you and your guests, which I know bands can do that as well. Like if you send over a playlist of songs, for the most part, I'm sure they can accommodate.
Okay.
They might have to learn some, but DJs can really play anything that you guys want. DJs usually interact with you and your guests, creating a nonstop music experience.
I feel like bands do too.
They can. Now, I will say, like, as far as emceeing wise,
yeah, that's different.
That's going to be different coming from a band. I was at a wedding where actually we were running the photo booth. We didn't DJ. We actually DJ'd the after party. But the actual wedding itself, the wedding reception was a band. And the intros just were weird.
Yeah.
Like they were playing, like they had background music, and all of a sudden, whoever the MC was or the lead singer was basically like, all right, please welcome bridesmaid so-and-so. And I was like, oh, shoot, we're starting. There's like no
yeah, there's no welcome or anything.
Welcome, yeah.
And bands aren't used to doing that, right? So like when you go out to like a live entertainment, you're at like
they'll talk to people.
They'll talk, but they're hyping the crowd up, and they're talking in that manner. They're not talking in an instructional manner, and like they'll introduce themselves pretty quickly, but it's not what they're used to doing. So definitely having an MC is important.
Yeah. Let's see here. Cons of DJs, and I'm actually grabbing this.
Are you offended by any of these? I want to know.
We'll find out. Some DJs have a habit of running their own playlists and not taking requests. I feel like
you should find that out before you hire them.
That should be a question
process.
when you're in the planning process, or even planning on hiring a DJ.
Yeah, read the reviews.
But talk to the DJ. Be like, hey, do you take requests?
Yeah.
For us, for TLS, we send out a planning form, and we customize the entire night to what you guys do. Now, that's a con for bands as well. They have their own sets, and
sometimes they're used to performing things in a certain order too.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And
DJs as well
flows for them.
DJs as well will have like certain sets that they'll play, which I do too. Like there are certain songs that I will play together because I just have like this routine.
Yeah.
And I'll play it, especially if I know, like, okay, this couple really likes this style and this genre. Perfect. I can include that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, that's usually not an issue.
Yeah, I don't think that is either.
Let's see here. This one says, with a DJ, you are essentially listening to pre-recorded music and not live music. Duh.
No shit.
But you're
Like who? No, really. Yeah.
but
But I mean, like when you're quick mixing or you're doing something
When
like
you're
that, you are still doing live.
you are
entertainment.
putting your own creative
Exactly.
your creative touch to it.
Yeah, and some DJs like they'll just be like they will do it on the spot too, and they'll just like, oh, let me throw that in there, and they just mix everything, and they just, they feel it. Especially like if you go to Gator Lounges upstairs, those DJs they have up there, they do a lot of live on the spot mixing, and it's really good. So
Most good DJs, I do the same.
You do the same, yeah. So I don't feel like that's. Yeah, I feel like you still
You just
get
have
live
to
option.
make sure you
just
you are-
interview your people.
interview your people. Stage presence for a DJ is very important.
Yes.
And I will say this is definitely a con because there are a lot of DJs that literally just set up a table,
Like a 6 foot
like a
folding
6
table
foot
with
folding
no linen
table, and just have like cables
and
everywhere. It just looks
cords.
messy.
Ugh.
So I can see that if you're very passionate about your your entertainment company,
Yeah.
that's really not an issue. Like me personally, and a lot of my team members, we all have our own like custom DJ tables,
Yeah.
and we are very mindful of cable management and making sure everything is clean and there's no messy cords. So
And screens aren't that much. Like even if you need to use a 6 foot table as a DJ or whatever, you don't.
like a
can't.
facade.
Yeah, you can have the facade or the screen that goes up. Those aren't that.
It just it cleans it up. It cleans it up.
It just
So
hides all that.
now with bands, it's kind of this stage presence. There's really no. I mean, you need a stage actually.
Yeah, or a platform, but they
Platform.
have cords and wires going everywhere.
Everywhere.
And honestly,
But you
I
don't really.
feel like it's acceptable.
Well, it's
because
expected.
It's expected. But then some bands will put down like rugs, and
Mhm.
especially under the drums, they'll put like a nice rug or something like that on whatever they're performing on. So that kind of like makes it feel like it's a little bit more like a live set and intimate. But yeah, they got cords going everywhere. So if you're looking for a clean, minimal look for a band, that's not it.
Yeah.
You need to hire like a symphony
Yeah.
because there's no chord.
Yeah.
They just sit down and play.
Some DJs, and again, going with kind of that presence, use below par lighting systems, which again,
And speakers.
and speakers,
Yeah.
and again and I feel like those DJs again are not keeping a very clean look.
And I get it that when you're just starting out and you can't do that, then if you're going to offer it, then you need to be able to offer quality and quantity. Like if you can only afford like 4 lights, then those lights just need to be around you and they need to be good lights, right? And then you start to build up to where you're able to have more lighting, but don't try, illuminating a 5,000 square foot ballroom with 4 lights that are like subpar.
Yeah.
Like just stay within your limits until you can build up to being able to provide a service that and so therefore you don't get bad reviews, so because you're staying within your limitations, you're not trying to be more and do more than you are, and that will keep you from having probably bad reviews and stuff in the beginning stages as well. That might help.
So that's it for the DJ side of things. I feel, in my experience, just off of the very few weddings that I've seen bands at, MCing wise, I feel like depending on the DJ though.
Yeah.
I feel like DJs have a little more experience on the MCing, like introducing and so forth. Not saying that bands, there are some very good bands that, do amazing crowd work.
Yeah.
I've seen extravagant setups. Actually, there was one at Mixon's. Were you?
Which one?
You weren't there, I don't think, but they had a band and they actually had a DJ as well. So they had both, and DJ Carlos was DJing that one.
I wonder what band it
but
was.
They had the biggest setup in that
some
little
of them
space.
bring in like the scaffolding and
They had everything.
light
It was
and the TV behind it.
the
Was
TV
it for a
screens.
quince?
No, it was a wedding.
Oh, because Kinsey, those bands, they
Well, yeah.
bring in like lighting and they bring in
They did
TV
everything.
screens and all kinds of stuff. So I've actually, it's funny that you said DJ with a band because there's somebody that I met recently that is going to be joining our preferred list at the Resilient Retreat, Sarasota, and it's Noah Gray Music.
Okay.
And he's out of New York. He's been here a couple of years. He just moved during the pandemic, and he actually sings,
Okay.
plays instrument, and he DJs.
That's cool.
And he's so just chill, like
Yeah.
super chill dude. I was like, and I told him about you. I was like, you need to talk to Tim. Like, you two need to link up. And he's just like, super just soulful, like really, like not what you would expect out of his, like, he's got like the beard going, and it's just extremely soulful music that comes out of this man. And what's fun is that he has a band that he works with, and he can jump on and mix
Sure.
with the band at the same time.
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So before we get into that,
Yeah.
we're going to talk. Let's go into the pros of hiring a live band.
Okay. Yeah.
So, some pros.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. In this particular one, they say the unbeatable visual and audio experience. Now, visually, not all bands are
Yeah.
visually appealing.
I mean, they kind of all got their style. So if that's the style like.
If you love live music, that would be a huge pro.
Yeah. And I do love live music. So I think I would need a combination of two.
Pro, if you are wanting to hit a specific theme or genre of music.
Oh, like ragtag or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
like
suggest
a 1950s band.
I would
style.
suggest
Yeah.
hiring a live band because they can give you that.
Yeah.
Not that a DJ couldn't, but it wouldn't be as what's the word I'm looking for?
It would be a little lost.
It would be a little lost, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be as authentic.
Yeah. True.
So if you're looking for look that authentic
Yeah.
genre of music,
Yeah.
live band I think is the way to go.
And you're trying to create that vibe as well. So having that as part of it makes sense.
Now I will say another pro is live bands do excel more on crowd interaction.
Yeah, I gotta say it's like you're at a concert. If you've ever been to a concert, and they play one of your favorite songs, the people are right there.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives off that concert experience a little bit, and the crowd gets into it.
Yeah, I do think that now emceeing is different than crowd interaction. So
Yes.
emceeing is like, doing your introductions and announcements and, a flow of the actual event itself. Now, crowd interaction is like you're playing music and you're getting the crowd hype.
Yeah, like
and you're
the
getting them
trumpet guy.
involved, and
Yeah.
you're telling stories, during in between songs and all that sort of thing. That's
Yeah.
different. With DJs, there really isn't much of that.
No. It's not like when a band, for instance, they have a trumpeter, they go out maybe into the crowd.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
Or the saxophonist goes out into the crowd and kind of like, plays like around everybody. The DJ's not going to,
Well, we
they
can't.
might, but a DJ might grab the mic and get out on the dance floor and hype people up in that manner.
Yeah,
It's just a
it's just
different
not-
kind of
yeah.
crowd interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. So I think that's a huge pro. If you're looking for that type of like crowd interaction, a band is the way to go.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There is another pro for bands is there's like kind of a uniqueness that a band can bring to a wedding. Again, it's really, if you're looking for a specific theme or genre or feeling or authenticity of music, a band can definitely do that. Another cool thing is for a first dance, I feel like that's really cool to have a live band for a first dance.
Yeah.
Because they can customize it. Like they can change words. If it's a same-sex couple,
Yeah.
and seeing you in that white dress on a normal lyric,
Yeah.
they can see you in that, seeing you both in that white dress, or seeing you in that
Yeah.
seeing you in that black suit, or whatever you're wearing that day.
be. Yeah.
they can customize the actual lyrics to songs. So that's
Yeah.
another pro.
I like that. I hadn't thought about that as far as being able to change the words and being able to kind of make it their own a little bit more. But yeah, that makes good sense. And first dances to me, they're just, oh,
Yeah.
I just love them and I miss them.
And if
seeing
you
them.
can, and if you can pull off a hell of a cover
Yeah.
to a song, I mean,
No dry eyes.
Mm-mm.
Everybody's got the goosebumps, and it's just really, really intimate.
another idea, especially if any one of the couples is a singer, there's opportunity for that person to get on stage and sing with the band.
Yeah.
Though you can bring the couple over to the DJ booth and put the headphones on and
Yeah.
act like they're DJing.
Yeah.
Great for photo and
They
video.
just push a button, maybe.
Yeah, but like press that now. But there is opportunity for the couple
like a surprise,
to get on stage
serenade.
and sing
Yeah.
along.
That'd be kind of cool if somebody learned like a good, like, say they were a decent singer, and they kind of took some lessons and surprised their mate. That
Yeah.
would be cool.
That's cool. Let's see here.
Some more pros or cons?
Let's go into
Pros.
cons.
Okay.
Let's see here. The biggest con I think is
Cost.
cost.
Yes.
That is a huge cost.
Yeah.
And
it could cost like a third of what or a half of what your venue cost.
Right, yeah. And
Yeah.
and to go along with that, cost because of depending on how many
Band members there are.
band members there are.
Yeah. And I mean, each band member has a different price. It's not like
Sure.
Everybody gets paid the same amount.
I'm
I'm sure within their contracts, I play 4 instruments.
Right.
Oh, I can play 3 instruments and sing. So that just kind of ups their per capita of what they can get for their performances.
Well, and that's all internal with the band.
Yeah,
But
that's
why.
why the price is the price.
And then not all bands can play at every single venue because, again, it depends on how big the venue is and how big the band is. With DJs, we can consolidate our setup. We can be put in a corner if needed. You know how we...
But also some bands may not play outside. Like if it's an outdoor venue
True.
and it's uncovered,
They would
they
well,
may
and then
say-
if you do have an outside, then you'll have to get a platform,
a stage. with
and that's even
stairs,
more expensive.
with skirting and carpeting and all the extra things that goes with that. So so now your bill is just going up higher.
Yeah, and so that's another con is, some bands sometimes have more complex, like logistical requirements than DJs.
And demands. Some bands, I have read contracts, they demand certain food. They demand certain time and space
Oh, sure. Yeah.
to get ready. Like they need a green room. They have to have a green room. So
They are prima donnas.
sometimes there are some that have been. So that's part of the contract. And if you don't have space for them to do that, or some of them I've even had say, we must eat at this time and separate from everybody else in a space that's air conditioned, and our food needs to be and they're very much and I get it, you need to refresh and things of that nature. And eating when you have to sing it can be, that's why they request certain foods. Like it could be super heavy food and you're not able to perform. Whereas a DJ, don't give them all vegetarian meals if you can. But that doesn't affect a DJ being able to do their work.
Yeah, and exactly. Another con is some bands are just too damn loud.
Like the ones that just yell and
they just have, they don't
have a
sound person.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's,
you can't hear the words.
well, it's not even that. It's just so loud, especially if you're on the dance floor. It's like, all right, I need to step away.
Yeah. If that's the case, I'm not, that's when I'm I'm good.
Yeah. And not all wedding bands provide background music.
Oh yeah. So when they take a break, it's
So when they take a break,
crickets.
yeah. So therefore you would need,
Or while everybody's coming in,
Yeah.
pre ceremony.
but I think a band, you wouldn't want a band for ceremony. You would just want them for the reception.
Yeah. So you gotta now that ups your cost because you have to have a secondary entertainment person. Mm-hmm.
And now one of the pros was that they can get very specific on genres. You can hire a band that's very specific on genres and a theme. That's also a con because some bands are genre specific and can't cater to multiple musical tastes.
Or any requests whatsoever.
Right. So
Yeah.
the set is the set, and so you can essentially get that set lineup ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
and so you know what's coming.
Yeah, and if you saw them out and about and that's why you liked them and they only do a certain set, just be prepared you're going to hear like the same exact stuff that you just heard when you saw them for the first time, maybe out at out at an event. You might get just a regurgitated set of the same thing.
Yeah. So those are your pros and cons. What are your takeaways?
Yeah, for me, like I said, I love live jazz, live music. I try to find as much live music as I can, but I'm a music junkie, period. So, for me, if I were to plan an event, I would definitely start out with like instrumental live. You guys have heard me mention Jariah Higgins with Social Society. It's a band, part of Matt Winter Band.
Oh, okay.
So it's like but he just, I could listen to that man sing the alphabet, and I would just be like, yeah, read the dictionary, like sing the dictionary, and I'm good.
Yeah.
He just has a phenomenal, and he knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to, especially if you got like a lot of ladies in the crowd too. He's not bad to look at. So he works the crowd in that way too. Like I literally just watched him play at the Bishop a few months ago, and the way he just like catches that eye contact with the ladies, and so he really has that crowd control. Him and his wife just recorded a song, and so they're just really good. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get big really quickly, but he had a great band. And when I knew that I loved him as an entertainer, when he sang during dinner, like the cocktail, like, the pre-dinner music, right?
Mm-hmm.
He sang a slower version of Dirty Diana.
Okay.
And I was like,
okay.
are you, what? Really?
I do like it when bands like put their own take on.
Yeah, and he did. It was so good.
On specific, like really popular songs, and they either speed it up or slow it down or just put their, I do.
And it kind of catches you off guard.
It's like, ooh, I like this.
You
Ooh, I
hear
like this
it
cover.
and you're like, wait, hold on, is that? And it's surprising.
Yeah.
And so, if it were me, I would do a mix. And then when the band got done, like I would have the band play a good set of hype music that's just live entertainment, and then move on to like an after party DJ style.
Now with that
as well,
having a band with a DJ on site, you just got to make sure that now this is all internal. I don't think the couple should have to worry about this, but because the band has a very specific set list.
Yep.
I think that the band and the DJ, if they're like separate, like if they're not the same company, I feel like they should definitely, and anybody, even if they are together, I would hope that they would get together and the band would say, here's my set list.
Yes.
Don't play any of these songs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you do.
And if it's an after party, I feel like, okay, if you and say the band plays what they play, right? And if it's the after party and it's like, okay, say it's
like that's just different. It's just different.
Well, you can do renditions of other songs and they could be mixes. So yeah, you can still like not play the same song, but it's just like a mix, and you throw in some extras and you quick mix it and things of that.
Well, it's just like going from one club to another club.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you have no idea what they played at the other place.
Yeah, and you started out with dinner maybe at like the Italian restaurant, and they had some live entertainment there, and then you went down the street to the club and they're playing that, and it's like just a different version, but it's going to be a different feel too, because the band has a different feel than the DJ. So I actually would love a combination of both.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Well,
what would
something that's really trending, and I think is really cool, and I've actually been able to do this a couple times, is a DJ with an instrumental, just a single instrumentalist, whether it's a saxophone, whether it's drums, whether it's a trumpet.
Okay. How does that work?
So this is actually at Mixon's as well. A year or two ago.
Maybe I was there. I don't know.
So I was the DJ, I was the MC, and they said, hey, we want to bring in this instrumentalist, and he's going to just play along with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
He just plays along.
Okay.
Now, beforehand, like I talked to him ahead of time, and he actually sent me some songs
Mm-hmm.
that he could riff to and
Okay.
play with and so forth. And I was like, oh, this is great because I can mix these in to whatever I'm playing because I can read the BPMs
Yeah.
and then he'll be able to hear it. I mean, he would come over and like check to see like what songs are playing, but I would also let him know like, all right, hey, I'm gonna play a couple of your songs just back to back, and they were like upbeat and fun and
Yeah. So was this during the party time or ceremony, like cocktail
Party
hour?
time.
Like, oh,
yep.
I feel like this is
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah,
Maybe I was there. I don't know.
I don't remember, but it was really cool, and I would love to do it again.
That's awesome.
But I feel, but that is trending. It is starting to become more of a
Like, because it always doesn't have to be like us versus or
No.
one or. It
But-
could be yes and.
yes, exactly. But I think having a DJ plus an instrumentalist. I've also seen DJs with a drummer. I've seen it. I've never experienced it firsthand. Never like I've seen it on social media. But I love the idea of a DJ plus like a saxophone player
Yeah.
because it adds, a saxophone can do so much and adds so
Ugh.
much to
Yeah, for sure.
the
More
party.
coffee.
But
I definitely need more coffee.
yeah,
But yeah, I really like that. I'm going to have to find some videos then of instrumentalist
with a DJ.
with a DJ.
But it's not a full band. It's literally just one
Just one
instrumentalist.
instrumental.
And
Huh.
so
And that would actually save on some cost and still add some flair.
you get some live music in
Yes.
there, sort of. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I've done it a couple times playing with a saxophonist and loved it. Had a great time. So
do that, people.
do that.
Do more of that.
Anything else on DJs versus bands?
No, I already mentioned Mr. Noah Gray. That's not his name. Those are just the name of his band.
No, got it.
Yeah, and so I thought it was really unique that he has the band and then he mixes with the band as a DJ, like quick mixing basically while the band plays, like he's adding in that extra vibe. So, yeah, it's really interesting how music can just be interpreted. And honestly, my biggest advice to anyone who's looking and trying to decide is, take your time. If what you really want is going to cost you more, then know that you just need to take more time to plan and have a date that is feasible. So I think, planning a couple years out, especially if you're looking at a band like Bay Kings or Matt Winter or Soul Society, or Social Society rather, just know that it's going to cost a good chunk
Sure.
and that you just need to plan ahead of time. But do what you want to do. Like, don't look back and say, I wish I had.
Don't skimp on entertainment.
Yeah, that
because
is not
that
the place
is
to do it.
one of the biggest.
Like, cut out favors, people.
Yeah. Again,
no-
cost shift. If you were going to,
Yes.
if you have money allocated for favors, for example,
Yeah. Or the ballet slippers for everybody to put on the dance floor.
or florals. I'm kidding, but seriously.
He's not kidding.
Florals are like 10 grand.
So
Anyway.
yeah.
So cut
Not
back on the
always.
florals.
Yeah.
Floral people, I'm sorry.
We need to have a florist come on and change your mind.
It will never happen.
I know, but
It will never happen.
calling any florist who wants to come on our podcast. But yeah, what we're saying is cost
Not
shift
gonna wanna come
some
on.
things. Yeah, they are.
Not with me. Like, we don't want Tim there. Brandy, it's just you and the florist. I will not be here
Well,
for that.
I feel like it's a good, healthy conversation and a good debate that could happen.
Debate is what it is. It's a
No,
debate.
It's a good, healthy conversation. But yeah, you can cost shift some things, and really make it able to be.
Yeah.
your
But yeah,
own.
don't skimp on entertainment
No.
by any means.
No, because here's the thing. If it's boring, I'm not staying. And you done paid all this money for all these things, including the florals, including the space, and I don't want to be there because it's not enjoyable. Like, it's falling flat.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a few areas where you just don't skimp, and that is one of them because you want to get every penny out of what you spent.
Yeah, whether it's a DJ, whether it's a band,
Yeah.
it's a vibe that
Both.
they
Yeah.
that
Like,
they
and what
are-
vibe does that look like for
right,
you?
exactly.
Yeah.
And Do
you
your
don't
research.
have to always cater to your guests. Like you want to cater to them a good amount to where they'll enjoy it. So if you are like a headbanger or like what's the screaming music? What is that? Where they
Screamo.
just screamo stuff. Or if it's, super always like, oh, sad or like monotone, you're going to have to come out of your box a little bit because unless you're inviting all people that like that, you're probably going to lose them. So just know you have to be flexible, but you don't also have to lose yourself.
Yeah.
in
True.
that. So yeah.
Amen.
Preach.
Preach, girl. All right. Well, that is it. That is
Yeah.
episode 24.
24. I was going to ask what number we're on.
24.
Look at that.
Episode 24. Look at us.
Like we've done almost half a year of weeks of, because 52. Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us doing things.
Doing big things.
Shoot, girl.
Yeah. Y'all keep an eye out. Just keep
Keep
it
pushing
coming.
us.
Right. Send us to your friends.
Yeah. Be like, hey, you planning a wedding? You got to listen to The Scoop.
Right.
Weddings Unveiled with Tim Schaus, TLS Entertainment, your premier DJ, and the wonderful, beautiful Brandy Harlan. That is going to do it for us.
Peace and chicken grease.